Hey guys, we are back for a real test in Hendon, and we started off with the Bay Park. I've sped it up because the learner's taken quite a long time to finish this maneuver. She's done a few attempts, and the examiner even had to come out of the car to tell another driver to move out the way, which is why it's taken quite a long time. So this is sped up. It lasted about 5 minutes. You can see she's going back and forth, but she didn't give up, and she's finally done it. And then now the examiner has told her to drive on again. So she would have got a fault for that, for making the correction, because she had to make the correction there. So that's a minor fault for control. And coming to the end of the car park, turning right, here you want to be careful, checking both sides, because a lot of people fail there for not checking the left properly, but a learner did that really well. And coming out now onto the estate, where you have a lot of pedestrians walking and crossing the road, so you got to take your time here. And you see signs that are saying 10 miles an hour, so they're not like official signs, but you don't really want to be doing 30 miles an hour here. Just stick to below 10 miles an hour and you should be fine. So just like the other videos, I've skipped it to the end where, because there's not much going on in the estate, I've just skipped it to the turns and where they've made the faults, so that it's not too boring for you guys. And here the learner has turned, I can't remember which way they've turned, let's see which way they've gone. Oh, this was a really busy day, by the way, because there was an accident on the A406, a dual carriageway a bit further down, so there's lots of traffic everywhere. So the learners had to go a different route than usual, and you can see there's lots of traffic on that side as well. Some people actually missed their test this day because the traffic was so bad they got to the test center late. So normally we'd go straight here, but the learner has been asked to turn left, I'm guessing because of the traffic conditions. So we've gone into basically GP Estate or Graham Park, and going through the back roads and coming out the other side, which I'll show you in a second, and turning left into going deeper into the estate onto the new builds. And I've never seen a test go this way before, but I'm guessing the examiner did this because the main roads are too busy, which is why they chose to go around a different kind of route. And our learner did come back kind of late from the test because they took longer than normal because of the traffic. And that can happen sometimes, where the test is supposed to last between 38 and 40 minutes, but sometimes there's extraordinary traffic out there and you may be out there longer than usual, so be prepared for that. You see there's traffic everywhere, even here. This is like inside the estate and there's still people trying to go around, trying to find shortcuts, I'm guessing. And our learner's doing really well to take her time here. Turning left. I've never seen this part before because I haven't been in this estate for a long time, because I didn't need to, because that's not part of the route normally. And you can see everywhere there's slow moving traffic. And here I think they're turning right here, and this is part of the normal route. She's done well to slow down for that car that was going past and then joining back on the road again. Now this is a normal part of the test route that you might get on your test, and this road is normally quite quiet, not too much going on, but you can see there's lots of cars here. It's just because of that accident that happened down the road, causing a lot of traffic and congestion in the area. So I've skipped it to much further down the road where you get to the roundabout, and here we're turning right, and you can see there's a few cars on the right. So here you want to be checking their signals, see where they're going, taking your time, no rushing. You don't want to cut anybody up that's on the roundabout coming from the right hand side. She's done that really well. And this is a 30 mile an hour road, But you don't want to speed up straight away too fast, because as you can see, there's like parked cars here, but the examiner's asked you to pull over on the left. And usually in this situation they'll say don't worry about the driveway, because you can see there's a driveway on the left, and the examiner would have said don't worry about that, you can block it. And they're doing this because they want to test how well you can pull away from behind a car like the one in front. So they get you to park one car length away, and it's called an angled start. So they're testing to see how you can pull away without getting too close to that car and without driving too far into the other side. And she's done that really well. They're coming up to a zebra crossing. So you can see lots of all zebra crossings have got that zigzag line leading up to it. So that will give you a warning that you're coming up to a zebra crossing. So make sure you're paying attention to that, and that will give you a bit more time to, start looking at your mirrors, start looking at the sides of the road for any potential pedestrians that might want to cross. Then here we're turning left. She's done that quite confidently. That's quite an open junction, which means she can see from far away that it's clear, so she didn't need to slow down too much or stop, because the road was nice and clear, which was really good, because you don't want to be stopping if the road is clear, and especially if you can see that it's clear as well, you don't need to stop. And our learner did really well there to keep moving. So I've skipped it now to the bit further down by the traffic lights, where here she's turning right, and here it's nice and clear. Usually we'd have to wait in the middle for any oncoming vehicles, but there's nothing coming down the road, so our learner's done well to see that and keep turning. And the road here is still 30 miles an hour, but here it gets a bit narrow, so you don't really want to be doing 30 miles an hour down here. You want to judge. So remember, the speed limit might say 30 or 40 or whatever it is, but you need to judge and slow down accordingly. And she's been asked to pull over again on the left. And this road can be quite busy, so I'm hoping that when she comes out of this, it's going to be clear, and she's done that really well. Waited for oncoming traffic to be clear as well, because when the road is narrow, you don't want to pull out in front of oncoming traffic. Then a bit further we're getting to a roundabout. It looks quite busy. We've got slow traffic coming from the right. Here it's about making eye contact with the drivers coming from the right, because sometimes they will actually stop for you to let you come through, because they're moving slowly. So you want to be checking the right and looking at their eyes to see the traffic has stopped there. So here I'll be looking at the driver coming next to see if they'll let me through or not. I'll be looking at the hands for the hand signal. Sometimes they might give you a little hand signal. I think the car next to our learner is trying to go. They've gone before her, and she's gone as well. Because there was a nice gap for her to go there, but she was cautious, and it's okay to be cautious, especially if there are cars coming from the right, because you need to be definite that they're actually letting you through before you commit into going into the roundabout. Much further down the road, and we're turning right into this side road, and if you look on the ground there, it says 20 miles an hour. It's really narrow down here as well, so you don't want to be going fast through this bit. It's one of those roads that's bendy, so you can't really see vehicles coming from the other side until sometimes it's a bit too late. So you want to be really slowly here. Have your clutch ready as well in case you have to stop. Another sign telling us that it's still 20 miles an hour. And then turning left into this side road. More reminders that it's going to 30 miles an hour now. You can see that sign on the left there. And the examiner's asked her to pull over on the left in a safe place, which she's done. She's parked in a nice space, a nice parking bay. And here the examiner is explaining that she wants her to do an emergency stop. So she's driving along as normal, and then the examiner will ask her to stop, in which case she would press the brake and clutch down quite fast to stop the car really quickly, like that. It's done really well. And now it's about just securing the car. Then the examiner will ask you to move on again, and this time you want to be looking all around before you move. So get into first gear look around and then move off if it's safe. Now we're getting to the end of the road, and you can see another sign here saying 20 miles an hour. And you can see there's still lots of traffic going to the right, and I think they're going to turn left because there's a bit less traffic that way, and then immediately turning right afterwards. And you can see a sign, so you always look out for signs. So you've got another sign that's saying 30 miles an hour. So if you're finding it difficult to realize what the speed limit is, just play a little game where you're always saying each speed limit out loud. So every time you see a speed limit, even if it's the same one repeated, say it out loud. That way you're always going to be looking out for the speed limits, and it'll be much easier for you to actually see them. That's what I do with my learners that struggle to find the speed limits. I just play a game with them where they say each speed limit out loud. Then down this lovely road where it's got the trees pruned, and we're turning right because further down is a dead end. She's done that really well. Some people cut the corner here, but she's done that really well to make sure that she's on her side of the road. Nice speed as well. And then we've got to the end. There's lots of traffic here before. I've skipped the bit where there's lots of traffic and turning left. Normally there's not traffic there, but because of the day it was, because of the traffic before, there was a lot of traffic there. It took about 5 minutes to get through that little road. Then here, double roundabout, turning right, and you can see because it's so busy, you've got people going on the wrong side of the roundabout, but she's done well to stop for that car. That car shouldn't really have been going through that side, but our learner did really well to spot them. So she's turned right at the first one and then left at this one. So remember, it's a double roundabout, so you want to be checking the second one properly as well. So if you go through there without checking, the examiner will see that and you can fail for that. You want to make sure you check in and show them that you've seen that it's a second roundabout. And then now we're on to another roundabout, which is much further down the road. It's just about waiting for a safe gap. No rush. Yeah, going straight second exit. So here you want to signal left to come off. So it's not a huge roundabout, but it's still big enough for you to signal left to come off. And much further down the road, turning left at the traffic lights. Just by Burnt Oak Library. So here the road is wide, but not that wide. You want to be careful of any buses coming through because there's not going to be enough space for a car and a bus to go through together. And then turning right. So basically we're going back the way we came from before. So I'm guessing if it was like a normal day without that much traffic, they would have gone a different way. But now they're actually going back the same way they came. I think it's just to avoid traffic. Turning left at the roundabout. We're on the same road that we were on before. And then now she's asked her to pull over on the left again. Now this one's a bit tricky. If you look at the rear view camera, you're going to see a car coming down. So she's waiting patiently for a gap, and then when she starts to move, like she's going to start to move, but then the car starts to come around the corner, and then they get quite close. They speed up quite a lot, but I think because she already started to move, she didn't get a serious fault for that. That was quite a tricky one for the examiner and for the learner as well. Normally if you see a car coming, you're supposed to stop, but I think she already started coming out. She already committed into coming out, and then the car sped up from around the corner, which is why I don't think she got a fault for that, or serious fault anyway. So now we're back near the test center, making sure you go past the zebra crossing carefully, looking out for any pedestrians, and then turning right into the estate where the test center is. So here again, it's just about going slowly. Make sure you don't go too fast because there's lots of pedestrians, lots of parked cars coming out of parking spaces. And back towards the test center, turning left into the car park, and she actually passed this. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate you. Make sure you subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.